The book is called On the Brink, and we were on the brink. And those days were so chaotic and so breathless almost with the pace of the developments. Today, clearly, you're sleeping through the night, I hope, and you're looking to a much calmer horizon here for the financial system.
I definitely am, Christine, and you're right. We were on the brink, and one of the themes that comes out in the book is how fast things were moving, just the pace of events. And there was a time there when the markets were frozen, and we had large blue chip industrial companies having trouble raising financing. And CFOs, chief financial officers, had begun having conversations with their bosses saying, I'm not sure we're going to be able to finance our basic businesses for the next 30 days. And so I knew then and there that if the system had collapsed, there would have been many middle-sized industrial companies, big industrial companies, that wouldn't have been able to fund their inventories, pay suppliers, pay their employees. The employees wouldn't have paid the bills. This would have rippled through the economy, and it would have we could have seen unemployment easily equaling the 25% we saw of the Great Depression.
And you, throughout the book, you and others have said you didn't feel like you had the tools necessary to really get at this. The tools to unwind Lehman Brothers, for example, or AIG. There really wasn't another choice for AIG. Do you think we're moving more quickly in getting those tools today? I mean, could we prevent this from happening today, or do we still have work to do?
Well, today the system is obviously much more stable and recovering, but we have not yet fixed our regulatory system. We still have the same outdated regulatory system we had during the crisis. And so today we still don't have the powers to wind down, to liquidate a failing company and do it in a way in which it doesn't, outside of the bankruptcy process, so it doesn't take down the financial system and take down the U.S. economy with it. And it's only when we get those authorities, which I believe we will get.
You do.
I believe that they're going to get done. Only when we get those authorities can we feel better about knowing that the American people aren't going to have to come in and prop up failing institutions.
Because propping up failing institutions is exactly what the American people have decided they don't want to do anymore. I mean, the distaste for the bailouts. And ironically, from your ideological perspective, you did not come into office expecting to be the guy who was going to be the architect of the biggest government intervention in capital markets in history.
Christine, you sure said it better than I have. And the president in his State of the Union address captured the mood of the country when he said, Republicans hate these, Democrats hate these, I hate them, and let me tell you, I hated them. But they were much better than the alternative, and you know what? They worked, because we needed, working with imperfect tools and authorities, we were able to cobble together enough to prevent the system from collapsing and avoid disaster.
You mentioned the president in the State of the Union. He also said we hate them like you hate a root canal. But I said this to Tim Geithner, the Treasury Secretary, but that means Ben Bernanke, Henry Paulson, and Tim Geithner are the dentists, because you guys were the how does that make you feel that the thing that everyone hates is the thing that you actually had to do?
Well, let me tell you, I felt like I was having a root canal. So
without anesthesia.
I was a dentist having a root canal without anesthesia at the same time. But there's a scene in my book On the Brink, where I really get at this, because I was in Santa Barbara getting ready to speak at the Reagan Library, and this was a day or two before we were going to need to step in and rescue Citigroup. And so here I was walking, and this was sort of the temple of free market capitalism. And what really hit me was that I was forever going to be associated with these bailouts and going to be the Treasury Secretary that did all these interventions. And then I said, that will be the good news. The bad news will be if we can't cobble together something that works for Citigroup and it goes down, I'll be the Treasury Secretary who presides over another Great Depression.